Hey guys, Moose here. Welcome back to another episode of Planetbase. We're going to be trying again on a Class F planet. Let's go ahead and get started. I tried to record an episode of this prior to this one, and I learned some things. I learned some things that I'm kind of not happy about, but they're part of the game, so whatever. And I kind of came to some conclusions about what I think the flaws of the game are. Flaws and bonuses. Or pros and cons, basically. Flaws, and I don't know what the opposite of a flaw is, to be honest. I don't know what word that is specifically. So, what I learned was you can't start big. You have to start with small buildings because the game punishes the shit out of you if you don't. So start there. I think the O2 is the one that we can make big, because I don't want to have to rebuild that. Everything else I'm going to wind up having to rebuild. I still think that having to start with a solar panel is stupid. Just to reiterate, in case people didn't see it last episode, because I got a comment or two that was mistaken, wind turbine requires solar panel. Full stop. It's from the game's own mouth. So, it's not a question of an airlock or any other building. You have to have a solar panel in order to build a turbine. End of conversation. We'll do size 2 for the power collector here. And then for water, I think size 2 is fine because it's only 2. Build that. I don't want to put it there because it'll interfere with mining. Speaking of mining, we might as well build that now. Okay. I don't feel like I can leave it with just... we'll put that there with the expectation that we're going to demolish it. Now we need a canteen. Canteen. Dorm. And then we need... biodome. And then we need processing plant, which can't go there, which is deeply frustrating, but whatever. That's not where I meant to put that. Just throw it right there. And then multi-dome thing. All of this is going to get demolished. We're just doing this right now because we don't have a choice. We have to do the small ones, otherwise it just completely neuters the entire colony. Which is infuriating, but that's the way it works, so whatever. Okay, we're going to start with rice. Then lettuce, then tomatoes, and then rice. We're going to make 2 beds to start. Worried about power. Going down, not up. Yeah, that's a problem. During the day, having that happen is scary. So do one more windmill, or one more turbine here. And then if I come down here, we want 1 of each. And then now we're done. Well, no, we need multi-dome stuff. Can I not? They don't have the wheel here? Or I can't build a wheel in a small one. Okay, that kind of makes sense. I think I've done it. I think we're alright. We have enough resources, more or less. We're running tight for sure here, but I think this is fine. We might run out of metal. This is not the way I want to build the base at all. This is actually completely contrary to the way that I want to build the base, but I don't have a choice because if you build big stuff early, you're just screwed and there's nothing you can really do. That seems to be what I learned in that first episode. Yeah, we're gonna run out of power. It's like, oh yeah, you need wind, and then we're not gonna give you wind. Okay, we should be fine now. Alright, we're good. I think we're okay. And the next thing we build should be storage, which will go like right there. No, damn it. It moved at the last second. Just connect it to 1 for now, but long term we're going to connect... Well, long term we're going to demolish it and build something new, because this design is trash, but we're going to start like this. So yeah. So basically, flaws that I learned... Okay. I've been complaining about the game a lot recently, and I think it has some really severe flaws, but it's still a good game, and I enjoy playing it. So, looking at the flaws. Start is very slow. I think once you get rolling, this game is very fun, but the start is quite slow, even at speed 4, and it can be frustrating to kind of like struggle through just waiting for crap to get finished. Like, I also don't understand how this could... maybe I built too many that are fast. If I just... What if I do a normal one? Let's do this differently. There we go. Maybe that'll help. The start's slow, because material production takes forever and you can't build. So, and also now I've discovered that in order to actually do this with the amount of resources that they give you at the start, you have to build small domes. Even though small domes are trash and long term you don't want to have any, you still have to start with some. But they give you the option to build big ones, but you can't actually do that because you'll run out of material. So that's really irritating. But that's kind of fine. It's just I don't like it. Easily the biggest thing that I think is just like a complete failure in design is that when you achieve something, it's like, oh, here, let me give you like a 10 to 15 second cutscene that's unskippable that does nothing. That should not be in the game. There's no, like, it's a pure negative. There's no reason for that to exist. And I really don't understand how it survived any time in the game. Like, someone has to have said, this is terrible. And it's not even a gameplay thing. It's just, here, we're going to freeze your game for 15 seconds so you can't play. Why would you put that in? Why would you not remove that immediately? Who has not talked to the developer? Like, there's got to be a community that hasn't said anything to the developer about that. It was added to the game and people were quiet about it, I guess. Or the developer just didn't listen. I don't know. There's no reason for that to exist. And it's very dumb. Anyway, what else? The inability to recover from any kind of catastrophe. Like, if it's bad enough, even if you have everything that your people need to survive at a lowered population, it's not like people die. Basically, if any significant number of people die of starvation, it seems like there's no option for recovery at all. It's just you're done. Because what winds up happening is you have the amount of food set up for a certain population, and you have more people than that. So people starve back down to what you can support. But the problem is, after that, now you don't have enough biologists to handle all the food production you have, so they don't really get anything done, and then they starve, and then they starve, and then they starve, and then it's just, you get wiped out for no reason when everything those people need to survive is already there and ready to go, and they just die anyway for no reason. And that is bad. That is... I don't know. I think there's things you could do about that to fix it. It may be a mood issue as well, but mood on its own shouldn't kill you. There should still be the ability for your people to be like, hey, I'm going to work slower and I'm really sad, but I can recover from this, and I will still do enough to keep myself and like another person alive. But they don't. They, like, the mood, I guess, is enough to basically just make it so biologists are useless. Or, I don't know what happened in mine, but it basically seemed like it was either mood made the entire colony fail at a certain point, or they're just... Is this a biologist? No, it's a worker. Okay, you're hurt. That's fine. Medicine is not happening right now, so tough. So yeah, anyway, whatever... I deserve to have a massive die-off. I'm fine with that. I don't think I deserve to have that entire colony fail. That was just dumb, in my opinion. I also don't really like the mechanic of wind power just because it's inconsistent, but that's another issue. That's a personal preference thing. I think that kind of a mechanic is bad, typically. Relying on luck for a required resource that isn't like, oh, well, I need some now, but if I don't have it now, I'm fine with having it later. No, like, you have to have electricity all the time. So having it be inconsistent is... I mean, you have to rely on power collectors to a ridiculous degree, and you have to build up way more infrastructure than you would normally have to. Something consistent like solar power is inherently better, because you know what you're going to get and you know when you're going to get it. So I'm not a fan of that. It's fine as like a supporting thing, but it's not a supporting thing in this playthrough because this one solar power sucks and wind is the way to go, but I don't know. I'm just not a fan of mechanics like that personally. How are we doing here? Are we getting anything done? Doesn't really look like it. I guess we need a med bay then, but we don't. Do we even have medicine? We don't have medics, do we? I can't look at my population because of that. I do have a medic, okay. It's like the most convenient way to look at population is from the landing pad. And if you don't have a landing pad, you're just kind of like, okay, well, cool. Another building I'm going to have to deconstruct later. If I even have resources to build it now, that's a whole nother issue. But I have to do this because that's 1/7 of my workforce is unusable thanks to being injured. So I can't wait. I can't, like, not do this. I have to get him going. It's less than ideal. Okay, good. We have enough resources, and it looks like we have at least one metal left after that. I don't think we have enough. I don't think we have any bioplastics, but no, don't do that. Of course, both of the two things we need to build in here require bioplastics, which we don't have. But I have done a good job of making starch, so at least that's coming. In theory, we can make bioplastic. In theory. But the workers, I think the guy who needs to do it. And I don't know if we have any other workers. That's not it. That's 2, right? Yeah, that's more than... That's 2. Yeah, okay. That looks really weird. Because the line is at 2.5. So I'm like, is that half a person? Is that a fourth of this? I guess it is. So we have 2. They're not really doing a whole lot. Yeah, focus on this, please. Someone? Is it a worker that needs to do this? Yeah, it's a worker. So we have one worker, and he's working in the mines. Ah, there we go. Bioplastic. I bet you it goes to building the medical cabinet first and not the bed. So yeah, another flaw with the game is the starts are slow. I think I talked about that a little as far as the size goes, but like this portion of the game is fine the first time because you're learning the game, but after that it's just incredibly slow and frustrating. Like once you get bigger, it's a great game. Like, I really like building out the base and kind of planning out, okay, what resources do I need? And now that I understand the game, I kind of like the idea of like, okay, well, I want storage centrally located, and I want all around it all the different things that need to happen. So you have storage, and then around it you have biodome, canteen, factory, laboratory, processing plant, and then outside of the canteen you have dorm and all that, and maybe you have a medical facility somewhere in there. Like, I enjoy that aspect of it. But right now it's such like a slow-paced grind that I just need to sit here and wait for them to very, very slowly gather materials so that I can expand. And my hands are pretty much tied. There's not really a lot I can do to make this happen faster. I just kind of have to, like, there's an observation period of like 10 to 20 minutes after starting a game and setting everything up. You just kind of have to go let it run for a while, and eventually you kind of make progress, but this is definitely a weakness of the game. So there's not a whole lot to do in the early game. And by not a whole lot, I mean there's like literally almost nothing to do. So, well, what are you gonna do? Just gotta wait. Yeah, see, power storage should never be critical in this setup. There's enough, like, power. This is what I was saying with wind being completely unreliable. It cannot ever be the main. So I'm thinking now, even though, like, solar is supposed to be trash here, I'm like, well, why would I rely on anything but solar? Because wind is just shit. So I guess I'm going to be doing solar. Even though the game was like specifically, you should do wind here. I don't like inconsistent stuff that you have to rely on to be consistent. It's a very frustrating mechanic, and it feels like you're losing control. Alright, we have a good amount of metal now. I think I'm probably going to build... I don't know that we want... Maybe we do want a landing pad? Yeah, I probably want to do a landing pad. But where would I put that right now? I could put it like... That's fine, right? Yeah, that's close enough. That should be no problem. That's just metal, I think. So more people would help, I think. That's a reasonable assessment. We're going to be doing a lot of deconstruction. I really hate this layout already. First thing you get when you walk in should be a biodome, right? Not a canteen. But that's going to take forever. What are you going to do? Are we actually short? Oh, yeah, we are. I thought I had enough. Alright. My bad. Definitely highlights the need for people, though, because it can go mine and do processing. There we go. We got a landing pad. I want less workers, more biologists. And then eventually I'm going to take 30 off of biologists, or take 5 off biologists and put it on guards. Because it has to be multiples of 5, even though I don't need 5% guards. Yeah, there we go with the wind again. Maybe I am actually just short on power as a whole. I don't know. Difficult to tell. And the other thing is, if something's wrong like this, you can't really just react instantly. Because you can't produce resources. It takes so damn long. Great, another unskippable, pointless cutscene. I should time this once. and just see how long it just stops you from playing the game for no reason. Alright. Here we're really just waiting for metal now, more than anything. Who are you and why are you idle? Okay, so we have extra biologists now. Yeah, maybe I should have left the 40% on workers. That might have been a mistake. We're going to run out of power again, naturally, but we're going to leave that problem for the next episode. Or maybe not. But food is, like, cheap as hell in this game, so... yeah, no thanks. Not worth it. Anyway, that is going to do it for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Hope you'll join us for the next one as well. If you did enjoy it, feel free to come by twitch.tv/electronicmoose, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, 6 to 8 p.m. PST, 9 to 11 p.m. EST. Check out a stream if you like. If not, thanks for watching here on YouTube all the same, and I will see you next time. Take care.